Buy cheap and safe NBA 2K22 MT at NBA2King.com. You can use code Excapar, that's EXCAPAR, for 5% off your entire purchase. Alright, y'all, here we are with another tier list. It is that time of the month again. Pause. We're doing the best cards in the game. This one, I figured I would just start it off with the best cards, and then we can do the positions later, because this is going to come out right before the tourney. So hopefully that maybe can help some of you guys out with your last minute pickups before you try to go qualify. So it's going to be fun. I think we have almost 80 cards ranked on here, so if somebody's not here, I apologize. Like the video, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, all that wonderful stuff. Comment down below if I should move some guys up, move some guys down, or you just absolutely needed somebody else to be on here that isn't. And yeah, without further ado, let's just start it off like we always do and check out the worst of the best tier, the bottom tier. Remember, these are still the best cards in the game. Like, everybody here is at least like top 10 to 15 in their position. All these cards are great. So here we go. We're starting off with Ruby Jordan Clarkson, a card that I really actually like a lot. When it comes to Rubies, he's super fun, but let's be honest, Ruby Jordan Clarkson is not guarding a parked car, let alone any of the other cheesy PGs. When it comes to overall Ruby point guard, dude's fire. Like, super fun to use, money jumper, great shifty dribble style, just feels amazing overall. But if we're talking in the grand scheme of things, he's not exactly a top tier PG. Diamond John Stockton, this card, fun, did a gameplay on him. I actually had a pretty decent time. The problem with our Johnny boy here is the fact that he really just doesn't have a great dribble style. I don't know, it makes him like hezzy a little bit too much, and it's just not the most fun experience, but it is what it is. Jason Kidd is our guy here next. Jason Kidd is actually, pretty good when it comes to like the overall stats of a card, but the problem with Jason Kidd every single time is that the dude just doesn't really have a fast jumper at all, and that really kills him. So he's a good defender, good playmaker, all that sort of stuff, but he just can't get the jumper off. Next up is George Gervin. Should be a fun card. Jump shot 40 is really nice, pretty easy to time. The problem only that you'll experience is just that, you're not really too consistently going to be playing amazing defense with him. I just don't really love this George Gervin card. I've cooked him every time he's up, and that's just that. Next up is Armen, Dino, Raja. They killed my boy Dino, like absolutely killed him. They took his 7'11" wingspan. I made it 7'3". It's just, it ain't a dub. He does have a pretty decent three-point shot. It's nothing like crazy, but it's still good. And he can still be fun. Just nothing really what he was, just because you can only do so much when they shorten your wingspan by like 8 inches or something like that. Unreal. Next up is our man Bobby Jones, who is obviously in the worst of the best tier, just because our guy over here can't shoot, like, at all. He has a 33-point shot. I just think he's too much of a negative on offense to really bring in there to be a top tier card. His defense is absolutely lights out. He is an amazing defender. Honestly, I would say that this Bobby Jones is the best defender in the game, but when you can't score, I don't think I can put you anywhere but worst of the best tier, because he's a good card. I don't really see myself using this guy too much, to be honest. Next up is the Big O, a card that a lot of people were like, have always been really ride or die for. I've just never really been too impressed myself. Like, this Oscar Robertson card is cool, but as the base dribble style, I really just won't feel as amazing as he should. He's fun, he's cool, but just not really my style. Next up is my man MO card, one of my favorite cards. It hurts to put MO card down this low, because I seriously love this card so much. Like, seriously, one of my favorite cards to use. But not having any shooting badges, only 75 shot 3, is pretty tough. His defense is absolutely amazing, and I love jump shot 75, especially on that quick timing. It's just, yeah, without the shooting badges, I just don't think I can really consider him top tier anymore, although I do still love the card. Next up, Moses Malone, a bit of an undersized center that I just don't really feel too amazing. I've used him, I've had some fun with him, done some XP challenges with him, but again, I'm not really a massive fan of Moses. He's cool, he's fun. I know some people that have had some, badged versions of Moses that have been really good for them, but for me personally, just not really my cup of tea, like, at all, personally. Next up is Drew Holiday. Jump shot 29 is absolutely amazing. This card in general is just really good, like, just really good. Just has the base dribble style that kind of kills a lot of the momentum that you think you would have with a PG. So he's kind of more meant to be like a shooting guard that kind of just plays defense for you, which is not bad at all, and he does that beautifully. But if you're looking for, a guy who's absolutely going to take over the game, probably not going to get that. And last but not least is Sapphire Damian Mitchell, who I would consider to be like the second best Sapphire in the game. The guy's just an absolute demon. Has amazing speed, really good defense, really good shooting, good finishing. For a guy that's a Sapphire, like in the grand scheme of things, he's down on the worst of the best because he's like the worst of the best overall cards, but he's still one of the best Sapphire cards in the game. And if there's ever a limited weekend where you can only use, rubies and below, Davion Mitchell better be on your squad because the guy is a god. And that actually wraps up worst of the best. I forgot to say it, but we do actually have 2 tiers. If you see this, I apologize. It's because there's a second tier right here, or 2 pages, sorry. So whenever that pops up, we'll get to it, which should be for this pretty damn solid tier, which we're going to flip over right now. I'm going to show you guys everybody in the pretty damn solid tier and just get to it. First off is our man, John Havlicek. Has, I think, jump shot 17? Might be a little rusty on that, but jump shot 17 and really good defense. I've had a lot of fun with this John Havlicek card because he's great when it comes to just budget guys and just being fun. Good finisher, good shooter, good defender. Has like the slasher dribble style, I think, and overall is a really good card. Just not, again, one that I'm really jumping out of my socks to use, but he's super fun, and again, for budget players, he's amazing. Next up is Mass Jason Terry, jump shot 22, I'm pretty sure. Has that blinder, has a decent dribble style, can be a really good just cheesing around, having some fun. All around, Jason Terry's just an absolute beast, especially for a nice little budget diamond. Same thing goes with Eric Snow. Guy's actually a demon. This Ruby Eric Snow is actually giving me problems. I've had some, pink diamonds and diamonds not play as good as this Ruby Eric Snow has played against some of the people that I've played. It sucks. He's kind of lost his best budget PG title in recent time, but he's still 6'3", his jump shot 28, and that normal timing is absolutely money. He has a bunch of great shooting badges, bunch of great playmaking and defensive badges. Just lacks a little bit in the finishing category and has the fundamental dribble style, actually, which kind of hurts him just a little bit. Next up is arguably one of the best shooters in the game in Drazin Petrovic. This diamond is an absolute god. I think he's actually our first card that came out with Hall of Fame limitless spot up like on the base card itself, which is amazing to see. The guy's just a demon. One of the more consistent, easy to time jumpers in the game, and then on top of that has really good defense as well. Just one of the best 3-and-D cards you could possibly find. Just right now, this guy's just an absolute beast, and he's like 30k or less. The next one is Diamond Ludore, another just case of being an absolutely insane budget 3-and-D guy. Ludore just has some of the best defense in the game, and I swear to God he has that like Kawhi defensive stance where he just absolutely pieces people for no reason on defense. And I'm a massive fan of it, like a massive fan of it. I love this Ludore card because jump shot 107 is one of the biggest green window jumpers in the game, and it's just so easy to time, so easy to green. Just love it in general. Ludore, my guy. Next up is our man Bernard King, who has got jump shot 5, which is, I think, the Clyde Drexler jumper. Really solid jumper, not gonna lie. But he's the base dribble style is a guy who's supposed to be, slashing around and doing that sort of stuff. And it's just not exactly what we're looking for out here, to be honest. If I'm slashing the basket, slasher dribble style, quick, shifty, I want those. I don't want base. Next up is our man Sean Kemp, and he has got to have one of the most baited jumpers in the history of just 2K. I don't know what they did to Sean Kemp, but they killed his jumper. It is bad. It is bad. I don't like it. I went against a lot of people, using the Sean Kemp when he first came out, and I just clamped him up. He's a good slasher. He's a good rebounder and all-around offensive guy that's gonna be playing, your power forward center. But I just don't really feel like a power forward center needs to be too heavy in the offensive category. I much prefer defense. So Sean Kemp really just not my cup of tea. You have to be really, really unreal if you're only going to be offense heavy as a power forward, in my opinion. The next one we got is Richard Hamilton, jump shot 40, all around pretty great, but I think he's got the base or fundamental dribble style, or power dribble style, that's what it is, on him. And I just haven't been impressed with this Richard Hamilton, especially for who you got to lock in to get him. It is not worth your MT, your time, anything like that to get this Rip Hamilton. It's just how it is, It's how I'm feeling on today. I just don't really like him. I don't think he's too crazy, but he's still a good card, and he still can be nice because he's got great defense. He's a good catch and shoot guy, but you're locking in KD for a catch and shoot guy? No, thank you. Next up is one of my favorite Amethysts and just favorite power forwards in the entire game, and that is Josh Smith. The guy is just an absolute god. Josh Smith is probably the best defensive center that I've used in the game, aside from David Robinson, and it's just kind of crazy what this guy can do. There really doesn't feel like a shot that David Robinson can't block. I've never just experienced a opportunity where I'm like, yeah, what, Josh Smith can't block that. I'm not even going to try. This defense is just great. The Brook Lopez jumper is nice. Shoots really good for a guy that only has like a 70-something shot three. Just all around, absolutely amazing. And you can pick up a load of Josh Smiths right now for insanely cheap prices with a bunch of extra badges, things like that, because a lot of people have had them for a time. So really good, just all-around budget power forward center. Next up is our guy OJ Mayum, who's another like reskin J.R. Smith. I think is a pretty bad dribble style, which is kind of tough. But when you got jump shot 49 on quick, one of the fastest jumpers in the game, you're going to be money, and it's going to be fun. Next up is our guy Grant Hill, the Diamond Grant Hill. I just don't like him. I haven't liked Grant Hill since he came out into the game. It's just, he's not my cup of tea. Jump shot one, not great. Base dribble style, not great. His dribble moves in general, not great. I just all around do not really like this Grant Hill. If you like him, good for you. He still has some potential because he is a great defender and he is a great slasher, but I just feel like other people do it just as well, or if not better, but he's still a nice card. And last but not least on this page, I think we have a few more on the other one, is our man Ruby Sadiq Bey, one of the best budget cards in the game. This Ruby Sadiq Bey doesn't have a good dribble style, so he's not going to be super cheesy for you, but he can shoot, he can play defense, he can play make, and he can finish. He can literally do everything, has great tendencies, it just is a great card in general. If you are a budget guy, this Ruby Sadiq Bey needs to be on your team, has jump shot 31, absolutely money, and he's seriously one of my favorite cards in the game, and I think until recently he was actually my starting power forward because I actually liked him over like, an Amethyst Robert Covington for a little while, but now I'm riding the Roko train. But he's still an amazing card. And then we have, I think over here, two more cards in the C tier, and that is Pink Diamond Russell Westbrook and Diamond OG Anunoby. Pink Diamond Russell Westbrook, just too baited of a jumper, and now there's a lot of cards again who can slash and play just as well. If you're going to go with a slashing kind of PG, honestly, I would say go for that free Steve Francis, which we'll see in a second, and John Moran. Just not really too worth it to have this Westbrook, but he is fun. Just run to the basket, barrel down, and just get dunks. And then last, but certainly not least in this tier is obviously our man OG Inoby, who is a super fun card because I'm a Raptors fan a little bit myself. I like watching Raptors play. And OG Anunoby's nice. He's got really good defense, really good finishing. But after using him for a little while, I noticed that jump shot 76, it's a little baited. It's a little slow. So I'm not really riding the OG Anunoby train a little bit too hard. Maybe I just had some bias because I like watching the Raptors play. He's still a good card. He's still a really fun card. I just don't think that jumper's really going to do too much for you. It is what it is. And then starting off our baby demon tier, we got the man's Miles Turner. Great all-around card. Super fun to use. I actually really like this Miles Turner card. I think he's really nice. It's just, I think we've got a lot of centers recently that, in my opinion, are doing what Miles Turner can do just a little bit better. So I think he's just kind of, power creep just fell down a little bit. But used to be one of the best centers in the game, and actually is becoming one of the best budget centers in the game. So, I can't really hate too much. He's still fun. He's still a great card. Next up is our guy, Mikhail Bridges, and it took a lot from me to not put this Mikhail Bridges higher, because I understand that he's not one of the best cards in the game, but for me, in the playstyle that I use and just the system that I've been running, this is one of my favorite cards, one of my favorite cards in the entire game, and it's really not even close. Mikhail Bridges has Hall of Fame interceptor, so you can kind of just do whatever you want. That's literally it. You can actually do whatever you want with this, Mikhail Bridges on the court, because all you have to do, kind of off ball a little bit, do your little thing here and there, and boom, you're good. Plus, he's got, I think, jump shot 80 or something like that, which is a really nice jumper, really consistent, a little bit slow, but you can just kind of do what you want, and he's actually an insane slasher, and he's got, I think, a 7'2" wingspan, so our guy is absolutely clamps on the perimeter. Just one of the most fun cards to use, and again, in my system, with how I like to play defense, just do my thing, this guy is insane, especially for his price of like 3K right now. Next up, again, I think my favorite card in the game that's not named Klay Thompson, and it's Ruby Marcus Smart. This guy, absolute god. They kept Marcus Smart with his amazing defense and then glitched out his shooting, which is beautiful. Gave him blinders, catch and shoot, chef, Deadeye, sniper, all on gold, and has silver limitless spot up and silver mismatch. Has jump shot 66 on that normal timing, which is a money jumper, the quick dribble style, and some great dribbling animations. Really not the greatest defensive tendencies, but basically this Marcus Smart, I think, is similar to Eric Snow, except he actually has some really good dribbling ability and can dunk, which is why I like a Marcus Smart over an Eric Snow personally. But this Marcus Smart, seriously, is one of the best cards in the game, especially at that Ruby tier. I absolutely love him, and I think I'm actually using him as my starting PG right now, so I can have Gary off the bench, mixing him with Klay. It is a lockdown duo. Next up is our man Kobe Bean Bryant. Obviously, Kobe's going to be one of the best cards in the game, has one of the best jumpers in the game, has a quick dribble style, can do really whatever he wants, and I think we kind of know that Kobe is just a super fun card at this point. I really shouldn't have to convince you that Kobe Bryant is going to be one of the better cards in the game when he's in the game. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Next up is our man Sapphire. I almost said Amethyst. Sapphire Jonathan Isaac, who is one of the best, and if actually is the best Sapphire in the game. You can't convince me otherwise. This Jonathan Isaac is the best Sapphire in the game. The guy's got jump shot 70 on quick, comes with clamps, quick first steps, some great finishing badges, has an amazing shooter, an amazing defender, massive wingspan, is 6 foot, I think 11 on the court too. Like, this guy is seriously one of the best cards in the game, and he is a Sapphire. If you are on any squad, I don't even care if you have like one of the best squads in the entire game, this Jonathan Isaac should make it onto your squad because he is that good. Like, this guy is that good. Absolutely insane card. One of my favorites in the game. The dude just locks it up. Next up is our man Joel Embiid. Good pink diamond. Jump shot 47 is nice. He's got back to the basket game. He's got defensive game. He can shoot a little bit, but really good finisher. It's a really good card all around. I like Joel Embiid, but he's been in the game in a while, so we kind of all know what he does. Next up is Jason Tatum. Really good defender, and it's one of those cards I just really like using. But the problem that you will encounter with our man over here in Jason Tatum is that his jumper is slow. But his jumper's slow. That's really it. The only thing that's hurting this Jason Tatum is the fact that his jumper's slow. If he had 107 like he's had in previous years, this Jason Tatum would be in the best of the best tier, honestly. Like 100%, he would be in the best of the best tier. The problem, literally the only problem, is the fact that he just can't get the jumper off. That's it, which is a bit unfortunate, at least for him. Next up is our man John Moran, one of the most fun cards in the entire game. Did a gameplay on him yesterday, and the guy is just seriously so fun to use. Like, he can actually do whatever the hell he wants. One of the best slashers you'll find in the game, has the amazing shifty dribble style, just really good dribbling moves in general. Just moves different. The Paul George jumper, absolutely amazing. Just all around, this John Morant, again, one of the most fun cards in the game. Next up is our man Glitch James Harden, who is an amazing card, but obviously the fact that the diamond dropped and the diamond is a little bit better, I had to move the James Harden down to the baby demon teir. But the James Harden jumper is great this year. Like, it is great this year. It kind of used to suck. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of used to suck. But this year it is really, really good. And then this Glitch has amazing defense, amazing finishing, amazing shooting to cap off with that. And a pretty decent dribble style. James Harden, one of the best cards in the game by far, especially at that Amethyst tier. Next up is our man Donovan Mitchell, another one of the best Amethysts in the game. Like, the guy's just crazy. He does what he wants. Jump shot 4 is amazing. I think he's got like the quick dribble style or something like that, and it is beautiful. Like, it is beautiful. Donovan Mitchell, again, he does whatever the hell he wants, and it's super cheesy, super nice. Plus, his slashing ability is great. I understand that he's 6'1", which is why I moved him down a little bit. But when it comes to general shooting guards, this Mitchell seriously is one of the best cards in the game. Next up is our man Dikembe Mutombo, and my god, is that card off center. There we go, fixed it for you. Dikembe Mutombo is good, but again, I think just the power creep of centers, obviously the first like super OP center that we got is going to fall down when it comes to overall things just as the year goes on. It's just kind of how it goes. The first OP card eventually won't be as good anymore, and I think that's happening with Dikembe. Just as a slow jumper, still is one of the best defensive cards in the game that you could possibly have. Just not really as amazing on the offensive end anymore outside of the post, because we all know you can bait that jumper so easy. Next up, Derrick Rose. Again, doesn't really have too much defense, but I love him. He's just fun. Derrick Rose jumper, one of the best jumpers you could have. Has a really big ring window for some reason, and it's just an absolutely insane slasher. It's super cheesy, super fun. Just all around, Derrick Rose, he's a beast. It's just it. He's a beast. And then I think we have a few more in the B tier over here. Yeah, we do. We have Amethyst, Jonte Murray, who is just amazing because the guy has awesome defense. Actually, he's a pretty good slasher as well, which I was surprised at. I didn't think he would be. Just personal opinion. And the playmaking is obviously amazing. Shooting is actually pretty good. Got a nice jumper. A little bit weird to time it, but it's still a nice jumper. And all around, he's a good card, man. I like DeJounte Murray. Next up is Diamond Bam Adebayo. Just a great all-around center. Bam Adebayo can play make. He can shoot. He can finish. He got the post game. He's got the defense. It's just a jack of all trades center. The only, I guess, negative with him is that he's a bit undersized. So you got to be careful. But I still love him, and I still think he's super fun. Next up is Amethyst Roko. I've said it. I love Amethyst Roko. The guy's got a really good jumper, although sometimes when I'm releasing it, it's a little bit slower than I think it is, which kind of messes with me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But he's still fun. He's still great. He's got good defense, good three-point shooting. One of the best just 3-and-D power forwards in the game. And it's still riding the bench nice and pretty. Next up is Ruby Wong Shishi. I think that's how you say it. If I pronounce it incorrectly, I apologize to anybody that I offended. But he's got jump shot 28, just one of the best shooters in the game as a center, which is just crazy. Absolutely love this guy. Does really whatever the hell he wants, and really does everything at a pretty high clip, especially for a Ruby. When it comes to budget centers, if you are on a budget or a no money spent player in general and you need a center, you have to pick up Wong Shishi to sit. And then last but not least is Steve Francis, who I kind of view in the same light as Ja. These are just two of the most fun cards you could have in the game at any time in the game, and they are just absolutely amazing. Steve Francis it's not even called Dion Waiters anymore. It's a different jumper, but it's still the same thing. It's still the same timing, and he's absolutely insane for it. And then we have our damn Demon teir. This is going to be a long one. All right. Let's find it. Where are they? All right, our damn Demon teir. Let's start it off with Nikola Vucevic. Does have, I think, jump shot 18, which is a little bit tough, to be honest. But he's still amazing. Like, he's still absolutely insane. It's just kind of how it goes. Actually, has really good defense. I wasn't expecting a Nikola Vucevic card to have amazing defense, but trust me, this guy is an absolute god. Really is my starting center right now, and I have no plans of switching him. Just amazing shooter, really good playmaking. He can finish pretty nice too, and I just love the fact that he can stretch the floor, and I just get more space for other players. Nikola Vucevic, that's my guy. Next up is our man Marc Gasol, who I kind of view in the same light as Vucevic. Weirdly, they both have set shot 18, and I would say Marc Gasol leans a little bit more heavy to the defensive aspect than maybe a Vucevic would, but they're still my favorite cards in the game. Like, they're still two of my favorite cards in the game. It's just, if you want to go for a little bit more defense, I'd say go with Marc Gasol, but if you like a little bit more offense, I would go with Vucevic. That's not to say Marc Gasol can't play offense. I like Vucevic a little bit more. Next up is our man Kevin McHale, one of the most well-rounded cards in the game, which is kind of, I don't know, just weird. Kevin McHale, he can shoot, he can play defense, he can actually play in the post really well too, with a lot of nice Hall of Fame badges when it comes to the defensive end. It just, I don't know. To me, it's surprising how good this Kevin McHale card is. I don't know, usually they kind of hurt him. His jumper's a little bit whack, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit whack, which is why he's only in the damn Demon and not the best of the best, but he's still a really good card. Next up is our man John Wall, a card who they killed by giving him base dribble style. This John Wall had everything else in the game to be a top PG. Like, he has amazing shooting with a really good jumper. He has insane defense, nice tendencies, really good finishing. And then he's got the base dribble style and just kills any momentum he has. He's still one of the best PGs in the game, but I don't think that he's the best in the game like some people are saying, because, I mean, you can't be the best in the game with a base dribble style. That's just how it is. Next up is our man Jaylen Brown, just an absolute god. I mean, Jaylen Brown, I think, is 6'6" or 6'7", something like that. It has some of the best defense you could possibly find on a card. Is one of the biggest player builds you could have for a shooting guard as well, and just seriously one of the best cards in the game. And he's getting cheaper now, which I love. I hate that he's got jump shot 75 only on normal, but you can still time it damn easy, and you'll be fine using this card. He is a god. Next up is Diamond James Harden, just a slight step up from the other one. Everything that I said about the Amethyst James Harden fits with the Diamond, and they just actually gave him slightly worse, I think, like on-ball steal tendency or something like that. But he has Hall of Fame Deadeye and stuff like that, which is absolutely insane. So I wanted to give the Diamond James Harden a little bit of a nod as the better James Harden. Next up is our man Isaiah Thomas, who basically is like Ja Morant and Steve Francis, just with a little bit of defense, but slightly worse dribbling. All around still good. I like set shot or jump shot 14. It's really nice. It's smooth. It's consistent. His defense is good, and the slashing on this Isaiah Thomas card is absolutely godly. He's insane. Next up is our man Gerald Wallace, who basically, I would view Gerald Wallace as like a Carmelo Anthony with a little less offense, but better defense. So he's got jump shot 4, so obviously a little bit of a different jumper, but with that, has a lot of really good defense, has that slasher dribble style, and is an amazing, slasher in general. All around really, really good. When it comes to collector level cards, Gerald Wallace is one of the better ones that we have at this point, and I've gone against him a few times, and that dude's a demon on defense. Next up is our man George Mikan, one of the best offensive centers in the game. What you'll notice when you use George Mikan is that you may not be getting the most amazing, output defensively in terms of like steals and blocks, but you're still gonna, upset shots and make people just blatantly miss, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, if they miss. So, that's good. Jump shot 4 is absolutely amazing, especially on a center, and he can just really do whatever the hell he wants. The extra speed and slashing that this George Mikan gives is absolutely amazing, especially if you just like to play really quick, really fast. Next up is our man Dwight Howard, who, again, I think if you like to play really quick, really fast, is one of the best centers to do that because, it's Dwight. Dude has a beautiful speed, and on top of that is one of the best defensive centers in the game. I think if you still want a back-to-the-basket center who isn't going to shoot threes, Dwight Howard is your best bet, period. And I feel like Dwight may be the only chance that you have to defend like a Giannis card, like one of the only chances you have. Next up is our man Pink Diamond Anthony Davis. Again, an absolutely amazing card, one that is super great. Anthony Davis just has a really consistent, really smooth jumper that's I just personally feel like really easy to time. That's just me. And still has good defense, good post game, good finishing. He's a good all around center, just lacking some badges that some other cards would have. I think you can badge him up, make him a little bit better, but there'll be a few things to be desired on him. And last but not least for this page is Pink Diamond Nicholas Batum, one of my favorite cards to use in the game. Batum is just so versatile. Again, another jack of all trades, but this one has jump shot 40, which again, I just really like. I like jump shot 40. I think it's just so easy to time. It's just my personal opinion. Really long wingspan, really just good all around card. I love me some Nicholas Batum. He is a god. And I think we actually have one or two over here on this tier as well. I lied, we have 4. And Amethyst Tyrese Maxey has a really good jumper, really consistent, and is just one of the better budget cards in the game right now because he comes with clamps, he comes with good finishing, he just comes with everything gorgeous that you want in a card. Like, Tyrese is a god, man. Tyrese is a god. He was price fixed a little bit because DVG called out how good he is, but he's still an amazing card. Next up is our man Shawn Marion, one of the best just defensive cards of the game. Shawn Marion is frustrating to go against, like purely one of the most frustrating cards you could possibly like just see on the game because the guy just clamps, and it's so annoying to go against a card like that can just stop anything that you're doing at any time. It's one of the best rebounders. I know some people talk trash on the jumper, but it's actually pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. And his slashing is actually not too bad either. Tendencies are kind of weird, but the dude still plays some of the best defense you'll find. Next up is Penny Hardaway, who I think is getting a little bit overrated because he doesn't have clamps, but if you badge him up, he is one of the best offensive PGs in the game and still actually can play good defense as long as you keep him off the perimeter. Like if you were to run like a 2-3 zone and make sure that Penny's on the bottom, he's actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But jump shot 10 is a little bit slow, so that will hinder you just a tad, but all around is still one of the better PGs in the game. And then last but not least is our man Trae Young, who is one of the best PGs in the game because his jumper is so damn quick. And yes, he's undersized. Yes, he can't dunk, but the dude is still an absolute god. The dude still has defense. He still has one of the quickest jumpers in the game, so you cannot underrate what he can do on the court. Like, he seriously is one of the best PGs, and if you don't believe so, you just haven't used Trae Young because he is a god. And then we can finish it off with the best of the best here, where we're starting it off with my favorite card in the game. Like Smart, Mikhail Bridges are like in there in the top 3, but this Klay Thompson is my favorite card on my team right now. The guy he's crazy. Klay Thompson has one of the best jumpers in the game. It does have a weird hitch in the beginning, I know, but it still is one of the best jumpers in the game. And then on top of that, the guy has the shifty dribble style, so the best playmaking, and still can play good defense. Like, there's just nothing that Klay can't do. Like, he's just good at it all. Like, Klay Thompson is best of the best. Next up is our man Kevin Garnett. You can badge just Kevin Garnett up and make him literally whatever you want. Has a halfway decent jumper for a guy of his size, and is just one of the most versatile defenders you can find in the game because he's quick, he can get steals, he can play inside, he can play outside. He's just again one of the most versatile cards in the game. Next up is our man Kevin Durant, the mass version. Obviously, KD with the shifty dribble style is going to be crazy. His base Kevin Durant jumper is a little bit slow. It's a little bit baited. Only a little bit though. But he's still great. You still can't knock the fact that he's a 6'9", small forward, power forward who has defense, has shooting ability, and has one of the best dribble styles in the game with some really good dribbling animations. Kevin Durant is still best of the best. Next up is our man Nakeem Elijah. I know he's got set shot 18 like Nikola Vucevic and Marcus All, but when you have as good of defense as this Hakeem has, you have as good of speed and just overall versatility. You can still, shoot it at a good clip. He's going to be one of the best cards in the game. It's annoying, and I highly doubt you'll go against him. Like, since he dropped, I've only seen one Hakeem Olajuwon, that I've gone against. So I don't think he's going to be a fairly common card because you have to lock in Giannis for it. But he still is one of the best cards in the game by far. Next up, speaking of the devil, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best cards in the game. I used the 75th anniversary because obviously most of the time if you're going against a Giannis, against like a real sweaty guy, they're going to have this 75th anniversary, not anything else. And the reason this one's better is because you can badge out whatever you want. But aside from that, Giannis has a money jumper. So easy to time, especially on quick. It's going to be one of the best slashers because he's 6'11", has a massive wingspan, and the dude is quick as hell. Like, it's how it's going to work. It's annoying, but that's how it's going to go. And he actually can still shoot it. He can still play make too. Like, Giannis is going to be frustrating, and you just kind of have to deal with that fact. If you don't want to go against him, just don't play 2K. Next up is our man Pink Diamond Gary Payton. I went on a grind to get myself Gary Payton, and I do not regret it whatsoever. This guy is just an absolute god. The defense that he brings is sublime, absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, jump shot 40, absolutely amazing. Just for shooting, and then the shifty dribble style, really nice dribbling animation. But the main reason I think a lot of us that have Gary Payton love him is just the fact that he's one of the best defenders in the game, especially at the PG position, and still can play, make, shoot, and do everything else. But I just love his defense. Next up is our man Dolph Shays. One reason you want this Dolph Shays, jump shot 38, quick, sit. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need. Like, yeah, he can do other stuff, but I swear to God, this Dolph Shays is the fastest shooter in the game, like the fastest jumper in the game right now, and it is so hard to guard him. Next up is our man Chris Webber. Yeah, Chris Webber. Chris Webber is basically Sean Kemp with jump shot 22, a better jumper. That's what it is, and just better in general, in my opinion. I just like this Chris Webber a little bit better. You can have Sean Kemp, but I don't like him. Next up is our man Carmelo Anthony. I'm giving in to the people that don't want me to take non-badged in cards into account, and I'm gonna put Carmelo Anthony in the top because he is one of the best cards in the game by far. Like, that's just how it works, because Carmelo has a money jumper. Even though he's got the slasher dribble style, he is still super cheesy and super fun to use. You can badge up whatever kind of defense you want onto him. I did it, gave him like Silver Clam, Silver Intimidator, Silver Pick Dodger, things like that, and the guy actually locks it up, which is pretty fun. All around, one of the best cards in the game. Next up, the second best defensive card in the game is Diamond Andre Karolinko. And then on top of that has jump shot 29, which is amazing. The base dribble style, absolutely horrendous, and kind of can kill sometimes what this AK can do. But I have not missed more layups that I thought I could miss on anyone other than Andre Karolinko. This guy makes me miss so many layups that I thought were so easy just because he's standing near my player. You can tell I'm a little frustrated, but he still has a little bit of slashing. It's not the greatest. He's not really going to dunk on people, but it's still damn good. And again, jump shot 29 is super easy to time. It's super consistent. So you got to give a little love to that as well. Next up is our man Arvida Sabonis, the best screen setting center in the entire game, and second is not even close. Like, the amount of times I've got my players held on a Arvida Sabonis screen is absolutely insane. The dude sets big body Miyagi's, and it's so annoying. And then on top of that, it's a really consistent, easy to time jumper to go on the perimeter, and it can rebound everything because he's 7'3", and can also finish everything because he's 7'3". You let him get in the paint, he's hitting it. That's it. And last but not least for this page of Best of the Best is our man David Robinson. Still one of the best centers in the entire game, and if you argue, I don't know what kind of crack you're smoking, because David Robinson is, like, seriously a top 2 center, and the other one is probably Arvida's. Like, it is crazy. Or Giannis, of what these guys can actually just do on the court. It is unreal. David Robinson seems to block literally any shot that I try to put up in the paint. Then on top of that, can shoot with a really nice jumper, can rebound everything, and can finish everything. It's annoying. And then we have the last of the last cards here in the S tier with Tracy McGrady, Stephen Curry, Paul Silas, and Paul George. Tracy McGrady, you badge him up, is one of the best cards in the game. You gotta love the trade break base and just being a god. Steph Curry, I've said it multiple times, he's a guaranteed 20 to 25 points every time he is on the court if you remotely know how to dribble. Paul Silas has jump shot 4, the shifty dribble style, and some of the best defense you could find. He's right now, I would call him like a Giannis that can kind of like speed boost a little bit, although I would say Giannis is better. And then Paul George is just, he's Paul George. Just one of the best all-around cards in the game that can do really whatever he wants. And you kind of just have to hope that you can stop him. And if you can, you know, good on you. It's just kind of how it works. Good jumper, good defense, just good all-around. Paul George is a beast, and I think we all kind of know that because we've all kind of faced him. So, that ends it off for our best of the best cards tier list. You can see everybody here. Remember, there's 2 pages, so check out both of the pages. Don't forget them, both pages. Both pages. Because I always get a comment about somebody who doesn't see both, and where are these guys? And they're right here. Alright? So hit the like button if you guys did enjoy. Again, comment if you guys think I need to move some guys up, move some guys down, all that wonderful stuff in between. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Without further ado, I'll see you in the next one.